Make sure we record. Awesome. All right. So welcome back to another Tuesday session, guys. Sorry for a little bit of the delay. Give me 1 second. Gotta make sure the little one don't interrupt our sessions. Sweet. Nice to see you guys joining us. We got Frank, Radifa. Nice to see you, Tish. Awesome. All right. So today, the purpose of our call today is trying to get some seller leads, right? I know I've been working with some of you guys one on one with some seller leads. And as we end Q1, I really want to start picking up the momentum going into Q2. So the purpose of this call is really to kind of be very hands on, either having you guys, because I'm no exemption from being coached and improving on calls as well too. So either, having me do your calls for you and then we can see, areas of improvement, or we could do live role playing, or what I really, really want to do is have sales calls with any leads that you guys may be currently working on. And let me provide a point of clarity on that real quick, because I had another conversation with a student. When I'm saying engaging and having these conversations with these leads, these are leads that you should have already had some form of communication with. So you at least got to know their price point, why they're selling, a little bit about their backstory, if they have any family or friends that, what I mean, something, some type of context that we can work with to kind of like build off of. So if anyone has any sellers, I know a few people already. I already have a few people in mind that I want to call on. But if anyone else has any sellers that they're currently working on that they feel like they may be close on getting a deal with, and they already have a builder for, I would love for you to be the beneficiary of not only a live sales call, but also, live implementation as well too. Anybody got anything exciting that they're currently working on, or any sellers that they're close to getting on a contract that they at least had some type of conversation with?
Yes.
Perfect. Stephanie, you were actually my first person in mind just because I know we were already working on a couple of sellers. I did reach out to one of those sellers over the weekend, but I didn't get him. I didn't get a hold of him. So we could do some follow-ups. You have some really good ones, so I want to keep you until a little bit later, but I also want to give somebody else the opportunity to kind of step up if you guys have anything. If not, we could just go ahead and proceed with you, Stephanie, because I know you Stephanie on it. Stephanie was like every single day. Stephanie at her daughter's what cheerleading practice talking to sellers. Sweet. All right, so Stephanie, we could just go ahead and get started with you just because we kind of already got the momentum up. So let me go ahead and pull the spreadsheet. Did you follow up with some of them already, Stephanie? You can unmute yourself if
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. What's the update on some of them that you were able to reach out to?
I have Dave. Um, he's waiting for my offer, and I was like asking him, why is he selling? He said there's nothing wrong with the lot. He's just like not in a hurry to sell, but people have been reaching out. He's just not gonna bunch for like a lower price, and he was asking me what my offer is. He's
Gotcha.
in Cape
Okay.
Coral.
That's the first one that you have here.
Yes.
Perfect. Give me 1 second. All right, let me go ahead and see. We may need to negotiate with him a little bit just because, if I'm not mistaken, he is in an area of Cape Coral where the buyer is staying. Let's go ahead and double check. Do you know if he has a seawall?
You don't, I don't think he has one.
No, it doesn't look like he has one either.
Yeah.
33991. Give me 1 second. Let me double
Oh,
confirm what this area is paying for.
okay.
And in the
I also
meantime,
have, mhm.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I, I also have a seller offering me three lots at the same time. I reached out for one. He was like, here, I'm selling the three of them. Just take them. And I was like,
Three
let me
lot.
get back to you. Yeah, but there's one of them that's like $40,000 as taxes, and I know it's gonna be like a dead end, but you have two good ones. But he's selling all three of them at the same time. I don't know if it's doable.
What area is that in?
Cape Coral.
Okay. Did he give you a price range?
No, he said we bring you the offer.
Okay. 33911. Ooh. Okay, so we like 15 grand apart. Let me see if we have any more other buyers right here that pay. So this one the one that you're talking about for Dave on your list, Stephanie, that zip code, one buyer is paying 80,000. He's asking 95,000. So that this is actually good practice, guys, because most sellers that you encounter, there's going to be a little bit of a variance when it comes to, what they want and what the builder is willing to pay. So just for a show of hands, does anyone else have any leads like this? And the reason I'm asking is because general rule of thumb, it's going to fluctuate based on your business and how you operate. Me personally, anything between 10 to 20,000 is very negotiable, in my opinion. What do you guys think is a negotiable range in your business? You guys can either put it in the chat or unmute yourself.
Yo, Francisco, I would say, normally I try to negotiate if it's within 10K, 15. I'm actually in Cape Coral too. I think I may have the same buyer as Seliska as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if it's in a flood zone as well. So my buyer doesn't buy in a flood zone. So
And you know what, Franklin? I'm actually glad that you spoke up and said that because you just gave me another idea. What I would like to do, not, and again, this is catered towards you guys being the beneficiary. So, Franklin, I'm going to use you as an example. Thank you for volunteering as tribute. Um, so, for example, one of the things that I want to start orchestrating is this is a perfect example of how collaboration comes into perfect unison, right? Stephanie has a seller right now, right? If we get on this phone with this seller, and let's just say we just so happen to get the seller to agree at a price that we are able to make some money, Franklin, I want you to work with Stephanie to get it sold to your buyer and see if your buyer wants it. Okay.
okay, can you hear me?
Yep. Let me go ahead and just double check some other things real quick. It's not in wetlands. It's not in a floodplain. Great. Cool. Let's go ahead and see what some other lots are selling for in the area, just in case we have to find some other buyers just as a backup, and then we're going to go ahead and negotiate. C4. So the seller's not wrong. I see some 92, 91s, and 85s that sold recently in the last 90 days. And the most recent one that we see is 85,000. And it's literally now the only thing that's different between his is on a lot on the water. Stephanie, how long ago did you talk to him?
Um, let's see. That was yesterday.
Yesterday? Perfect.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and reference you. How long did you talk to him for?
Every time I text him, he'd be like 95 plus fees, 95,000 plus fees. I'm not budging. And I was like, what's wrong with it? He said nothing wrong. Just like that's my firm price. So
Okay. Let's go ahead and this is actually good practice, especially if he's firm. Let's try to see if someone else can sway him. Fingers crossed.
Hello,
Hello, good afternoon. I was looking to speak with Dave.
this is Dave.
Yes, sir, Dave. I was actually referred to you by my partner, Stephanie. You guys had spoke, I believe, yesterday in regards to a vacant lot in Cape Coral. Is that correct?
I haven't spoken to anybody. They probably sent me a text. That's usually what happens.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, my partner Stephanie passed me along your information and expressed that you guys had some form of conversation about a vacant lot in Cape Coral. It's a waterfront lot. I have it pulled up in front of my computer here.
Okay.
Perfect. And let me just confirm that address real quick. It's on 15 Place.
Yes,
Perfect. Okay. I'm not able to see it in the aerial, and I just wanted to ask you directly. Do you happen to know if that has a seawall by any chance?
it does not.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's,
Okay.
it's on waterfront. It's on the L of a canal. So if you know anything about the area, canals down there are just like streets. They build homes on both sides of it. What makes this one advantageous is it's at a corner of a canal where there's nobody going to build a house right across from you. In other words, it's an expansive open area where the canal turns, so it looks much more open, and you just don't have a neighbor looking at the back of your house across the street.
Right. Yeah, I see some recent developments going on, and it looks like what would be the backyard or the future backyard of a house that gets built there. So we definitely have some interest on that. Obviously, we have to do some math just to make sure it makes sense. But one of the other questions that I wanted to ask you is, have you ever tried building on this or ran into any issues building on the particular lot, or what happened with it?
No, that was my plan many years ago. We thought we might retire down there. We're in Colorado now,
Oh, okay.
and we build a home, and but we decided against it a few years ago. So I thought, well, worst case, we'll see. Maybe I'll sell it.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, is that something that you guys are kind of like serious about moving forward with right now, or are you just filling out what's out there?
I field offers. I get a lot of folks like yourself, and I think you said Stephanie,
Mm-hmm.
where yeah, I get random text messages, I get phone calls.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, if the deal's right, I could sell it. Oh, Brandon.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I mean, technically, when they pass me along people's information, they pass me along people's information just to make a deal happen. Of course, it has to make sense for you. Obviously, we do some math just to make sure we're not buying land where we're upside down on projects. You sound like a savvy businessman yourself, so I hope we can, you can understand our position. So I'm not necessarily looking to, hit a home run or low ball, but I definitely want to make sure what would it take to get a deal done if we were to agree on price today.
I've had a handful of offers around 85 to 87.
Mm-hmm.
I had one guy a few months back offered me 92.
92. Gotcha. And I'm assuming because it's still available, you rejected those offers, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. What I always tell people is it's very easy for anybody to throw out a number out there, but it's different for them to actually execute on what they're able to bring to the table. So out of curiosity, did any of those other offers come with a proof of funds by any chance?
No.
Gotcha.
No, we didn't get that. We didn't get that far.
Gotcha. Okay. So where are you looking to land at as far as in order to make a deal done, and if and let me know if there's any flexibility there. Where would it realistically take? Because I don't want to be another person that's just piling on to the list of offers that you're just falling by the wayside.
I'm taking care of something else too. We're doing our financial guy right now. He's calling. Anything over 92.
92.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
So
at 93 we'll be in business?
Probably. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, currently where I stand, the only way that ballpark will make sense is if we confirm with our GCs and our building partners that seawall won't cost us an arm and a leg with the models that we have to build on that particular property. Because if that puts us over the budget, of course, that's going to kind of factor in our negotiations. Is there any flexibility on that price just in case that is an issue for us that comes up?
We can discuss it, but again, you see my target. I've had an offer for 92, as I mentioned. So anything above that would open my eyes to an agreement.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, it sounds like you're looking for someone that can not only offer, but also execute and bring you to the closing table. Because again, I don't want to just offer you something and not,
No, I understand, and that's what I'd expect of you guys. I'm in no hurry. I've owned it for many years. Like I said, I don't have it listed. I have the agents contact me all the time, real estate agents. They'd like to be my listing agent, all the time too, but I haven't went through any agent. So it's just sitting there. It's an open piece of property.
Gotcha. And then realistically, once I run this back over with my GCs and my finance department, let's just say if we're at a variance of, 5 to 7 grand on price. And when we show you, hey, here's the funds that we have, proof of funds, this is the target close date. What would you say if I came back to you with that scenario?
I'd certainly listen.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's flexibility there, but I just want to make sure that if I want to fight to get this deal done, I want to make sure that we're not out of a ballpark over a couple $1,000. That's what I'm communicating to.
Like I said, we're both in business. We can certainly talk about it.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you have a good email that I can get for you so that way once I talk it over with my partners and my GCs, we're looking to come to a decision relatively quickly. So once we kind of crunch the numbers, what's a good email that we can put something in writing for you, send over an agreement, and attach it with proof of funds?
It's Edwards, EDWARDS 9014 at MSN.com.
Okay, so let me repeat that back to you just to make sure I have it correct. Edwards, EDWARDS 9014 at MSN.com.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Is there anyone else on the deed that we need to put on the agreement or take into consideration?
Yeah, when we get that far, I'll provide you my wife's name.
Perfect. Okay, and then she's going to have a say, or you have the final say so?
Yeah. Yep, I'm the money guy.
Got you. Okay, it's always good to talk to the money guy.
Go to the source, man.
Absolutely. I wouldn't want it any other way. So, Ed, my name is Francisco, just like San Francisco. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and start working on this just to kind of crunch the numbers. And between today or tomorrow, we'll have something in writing for you. And then, we can go ahead and see what it will take to get a deal done. Okay?
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You as well.
Wow, Francisco, that was beautiful.
I am
I just
speechless.
hopped in. You killed that, man. I just hopped in. You killed that call, man.
Beast
Hey,
mode.
listen,
Awesome.
hold
It was
on.
great.
Y'all better thank the energy drink because I'm on the road today. But no, in all seriousness, in all seriousness, I do not think that 93, what he's asking for is not unrealistic. You know what I mean? So now in my opinion, what we have to do is we have to put our problem solving hat on, right? So I do not think it's far-fetched that the infield lots, meaning lots that are not on a canal like he discussed, they're going for 85s, right? His asking price it's kind of hard to negotiate with someone. Yes, there's a little bit of wiggle room there, but it's kind of hard to negotiate with someone that's actually very reasonable. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like his asking price is not unrealistic.
You mean like he's close to the market price?
Yeah, he's very close to market price. It's not like he's delusional and asking 200K for something that's, you know what I mean? So now what we have to do, Stephanie, is, and it's probably going to take a little bit of work because we have to compare specifically what are lots that are on the water selling for exactly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So give me 1 second while I scavenger hunt that real quick. And obviously we want to be in very close proximity. But before we dive in a little bit further, let's have a conversation of some takeaways. Because obviously that call went a little bit good, right? But tell me some of the things that you guys noticed about his personality. We had a conversation for 7 minutes.
He was a little kind of tight in the beginning, but kind of loosen up later on a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that you did not give him a price, but you gave him a price range that's gonna either kill the deal or make it move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seemed like your standard kind of stern, older gentleman. So I kind of liked how you played off of his personality. You kept it pretty You kept it like relatively just about business in the beginning, and then as he started to open up, you kind of wiggled in and brought some of your personality in.
Hmm. Barb said he was willing to listen. Yep. Not all sellers are willing to listen also. Anything else? Anything else that you guys took away?
He sounded
Oh,
like he dealt with a lot of people that wasted his time in the past. So that
Hmm.
I
well,
also like the way you are calm and you have control of the conversation.
yeah, I
Say
was
that
gonna
one.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Stephanie.
Oh, I said I also like the way you just keep your calm. You like calm and you just like have control of the conversation.
There was something specific that he said that I want you guys to pay attention when people say something like this. When he referenced that he gets texts all the time about whatever, right? So obviously his personality is very straight to the point. So you have to mirror someone that's very straight to the point and keep that's how you keep their focus and engaged, right? He was very concise and short with his answers. He was very, direct for lack of better words. So Mike said it, he was very cut and dry, right? So that's one of the first things that you immediately have to kind of catch in the first couple of seconds on the call. And then when you're dealing with someone like that, you have to ask them questions that force them to
Okay.
divulge a little bit more, right? Um, if I'm going to critique myself, even though that call went good, one of the things that I should have dived into a little bit deeper to get him to open up more and also kind of parlay that into the negotiations is when I asked him about if he had any trouble building on the lot, right? I should have dived into a little bit more about like what changed, like what brought, what changed the objective from building on it. Then how did you end up in
Really?
Colorado from Cape Coral? You know what I mean? And the reason I say that, don't you, and just as a quick side note, this probably happens in arguments more than regular conversations, but don't you hate when you're in an argument with someone and after the argument is over, you're like, damn, I should have said this.
That's something, yep.
Um, but it's some very similar. But one of the things that I should have dived deeper into was asking him after he responded to my answer, which wasn't very long winded. He did open up about like, hey, I bought it, was looking to build on it, whatever the case may be. Um, the next time around when I ask that question, whatever they answer me with, I'm gonna ask, hey, the reason that I asked that question is because a lot of times we have to, know what it is that we're buying, right? And some people like to sell us problems and sell us their headache of land that they couldn't build on. So one of the reasons why I kind of want to know if you ever ran into any issues with trying to build on the property is I'm not going to be able to get a refund from you if I can't build on this property or if I have trouble building on this property after I give you X amount of money for it. So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, Mr. Seller, that I don't think that you're a scam artist. You're going to try to rip me off. But that's one of the reasons why I asked this question because it's a beautiful property. Why not build on it if making the most amount of money is the ultimate end goal? And what advantage do I have? Now you're flipping it back on them. What advantage do I have buying this property at this price? Because obviously you're a businessman, you can respect that no one's going to be in a business where they're spending money to lose money. So am I looking to make $1 million buying it for 90,000? No, but I need to be able to at least on the surface level communicate what upside do I have meeting you at your price. And then now, especially with someone that's kind of direct and open with like he was, now that's putting him in a position where he has to kind of be a little bit more engaged and sophisticated. He could very well respond and be like, F off. I ain't got to sell you nothing. My price is my price. You know what I mean? But given his personality, I think he is someone that would respect someone having the bandwidth to say, like, hey, I'm interested in buying the property, but I'm not interested in making bad investments either. You know what I mean? based off his thing. So that is something that and probably in our next call we probably can dive deeper into with him, Stephanie. But right now, again, he's pretty realistic on price. Now, let's go ahead and try to find and see in the last 6 months if there was any land that sold on the water for above 93, if that makes sense. And individuals like him, you might have to follow up with him a little bit. These are the type of conversations where you're not always going to get like a one call close. You know what I mean? It's not going to be on the first call where you're going to be like, "Yep, let's sign a contract and I'll see you in 30 days." Those are the type of conversations that we just experienced that makes follow up easier. Even if a week goes by or a month or 2 months goes by, you now have like a conversation of substance to follow back on. Because now, even if he rejects our offer, Stephanie, regardless of what we come back at, now the next thing that I'm going to bring up in our conversation was, Dave, last time you told me a lot of people were texting you about some offers. I'm following up with you again. It's still available. You're still getting hit up. You ain't got no lucky suitors yet. What is it going to take for us to get a deal done? You don't want to deal with people contacting you and their intention is not to get a deal done if they're just giving you offers, Dave. So here I am 6 months later. Here you are 6 months later. You telling me, Dave, those text messages not getting a little bit annoying? Let me go ahead and just buy it off you and let me start getting all the text messages and calls about it. And then now you have a conversation that can lead into, whatever the case may be. So down the street, Steph, I see another one. No, that one sold for 75. That's not helping us. We got one that's a little bit bigger that sold for 135 down the street. But that was back in October. His is it's literally on the exact same street. Franklin, what I would do for you, since you have a buyer in this particular area, I would do.
Well, Francisco, I have a buyer, but he doesn't buy on flood areas or canals. So it sounds
Uh,
like that one is in a canal, which that was my dilemma. I think I need to either find more buyers that can buy on a canal
mm-hmm.
because I feel like I got a few sellers that want to sell me for the right price of my buyer, the only buyer I have there, but it's on a canal. So I have to. I ended up messaging them that wouldn't really take on a canal. So I feel like I'm missing out just because I don't have a buyer on a canal or a flood zone.
Gotcha.
So I was wondering about that. When you see a flood zone area that is still building, even though I went to the property appraisal website, I looked into try to find new builders there, but it was kind of hard to find their names and numbers.
Gotcha. Give me 1 second. Let me look at something real quick.
What's crazy is I get most of the people who agree to sell at a price I'm telling them, they're like on a canal.
Oh yeah, and your buyer doesn't buy on canals.
Yes, I'm like, wow.
Let me look at something real quick. I might get a double whammy. Oh, nope, no canals. Damn. That one got a seawall. Damn, no canals. You're killing me, Smalls. Oh, this guy. Let's see if we could do some reverse engineering real quick before we log off. A lot of these bars don't bound canal stuff. We may
I
have to
think
try to find a mom and pop builder.
Can I ask, what is it about canals that makes these buyers not want to mess with them?
I think it varies, but I think it has to do with the trouble of having to go through permitting. It's another permit that they have to get, and if it doesn't have a seawall, that's another permit that they have to get that could delay their project depending on the
Mm,
municipality. Cape Coral seems to have a little bit of strict guidelines when it comes to canals. So that permitting issues basically is the number one issue that I've heard why they want to stay away
got
from
it.
them.
Okay.
Yeah. Other builders may have different reasons for staying away from them, but most of them want to stay away from them because of permitting.
Mike put something in the chat. He said he has a buyer in the chat. Mike.
Without seawalls. Okay, boom. And this is exactly why I want these calls to be exactly how they're going right now, because I want you guys to be the beneficiaries of getting deals closed and collaborations. So, Mike, Stephanie, I'll have you connect with Mike and just connect with Mike and send him over the address. And then Mike, just check in and see what your buyers will pay without canal.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
look, Mike was up.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
on.
we spoke earlier.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
Yo, I
we
need
That's
to
connected
JP
dots.
too. JP said he has a buyer too.
I need to talk to
Gene
you,
P.
Mike.
Sorry, Franklin. You were saying?
We
No, go ahead. I was saying I guess we should both connect with Mike since he has a buyer that can buy in canals.
Yeah, I think Gene has a buyer too for Southwest and Southeast. I have a couple of sellers in that section too, Gene P.
Yep, let me know.
Yeah, I'm here,
Alrighty,
Franklin.
Gene,
Let me know.
Gene, they buy 120 without canal or with a canal?
With canal.
With canal. Ask them how much without a canal.
All right, let me ask.
Does that mean if they buy with a canal that they're already accounting for no seawall?
Yeah, if it
Non-canal
doesn't
is
have
90.
90, see, yeah. So we have to probably try to get them at. Do they accept assignments or they double close?
Assignment.
Oh, okay, perfect. I would say Stephanie, what you trying to do? I think 85. Hey, how quick they close, Gene?
Uh, 30, 45 days. So 30 due diligence and 45-day closing.
Ooh. I'm tempted to call him back. Tempted to call him back.
Apply that pressure.
Let me go ahead. Let me see. Let me do some math real quick. Let me do some math because you guys are about to see how I'm gonna position it to them. Okay. He's asking 85. Let's do 60,000 for a seawall. Mm. So basically, what the way I'm going to try to break it down to them is, listen, our max budget for acquiring lots and installing seawall has to be all in at 120. I could just do this math in reverse. Minus 60,000. Oh no, let's do 50. 120 minus 40,000. Okay. So here's going to be my pitch to him, right? My pitch to him is going to be, listen, Dave, we crunch the numbers. Our budget for lots that do not have seawalls, because obviously we have to factor that in, is 80,000. Because if we have to install a seawall, that's an extra 40,000 that we have to allot. And if anything over that is clearly going to put us out of our budget. So that's where we're at. Y'all think he's going to go? Put a 1 if yes, put a 2 if no. Because that's going to be my pitch to him. Is listen, crunching the numbers, our budget is 120 for lots. And that's the budget that we have to stick to purchasing the lot and installing the seawall. Anything over that, it's not going to be a good deal for us, even though we want to move forward. So we have the funds, we can send it over to you. But if it's over 120, buying the lot and installing the seawall, you tell us what we need to do in order to make a deal. Y'all think we're gonna have to follow up with him?
I'm sold. You got me, bro. You got me.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's run it up. Let's see.
Hello.
Hey, Dave, it's your neighborhood friend, Francisco again.
Who's this?
Francisco,
From where?
we just spoke a couple minutes ago about the lot in Cape Coral.
I didn't have my phone on me, and I just got back from getting food, so I don't think you spoke to me, sir.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I think I got the wrong number. I'm sorry.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. That was the other buyer. What was his number, Stephanie? Wait, hold on. Oh, my dumb man. Sorry, wrong number. Clearly wrong number.
Hi, this is Dave Edwards. I'm not available.
And of course, you're not gonna answer. But basically, matter of fact, let me double down. Fuck that. You finna get double down again. We were just talking 20 minutes ago.
Hi, this is Dave.
Okay. So he didn't answer. I double dialed though. But just a quick recap though, right? So Stephanie, whether you talk to him first or whether I talk, he calls me back or whatever, and this is also helpful for the group, especially when you're having follow-up conversations, you want to make sure you frame it in a way where your position makes sense. Does that make sense? Do you follow? So basically, you want to make it very difficult for them to refute or rebuttal how you got to the conclusion you got to. So it will go something along the lines like this. Hey, Mr. Sellers. So we went ahead and crunched the numbers, and let me just be very direct with you. We have a budget of 120,000. Okay. Obviously, that's more than enough to go ahead and buy your piece of land. But what we also have to account for is we have to budget putting in the seawall. If you don't want to put in a seawall, we got to put in a seawall, right? Buying both the land and installing the seawall, if we're over 120,000, it's not going to be a deal for us. And right now, we just got quoted $40,000 for the seawall. So, does your price make sense for us to buy? Absolutely. However, in the realm of staying within our budget, what we have to do is we have to work on how can we get the purchase of the land and the installation of the seawall under 120,000, and you have it from the horse's mouth, Mr. Seller, that we got a deal if we're able to solve that problem. You let me know how you'd like to proceed. And then you just shut up and let him talk. Because now you made your position clear that yes, we can buy your property, but we cannot buy your property and install a seawall if it's going to cost us to be outside of our budget.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
If he tells you, hey, well, where do you need to be at? Well, given that our budget is 120, I mean, based on what you said, we will have to be at our offer has to be no more than 80,000 if we have to install $40,000 in the seawall. That's not factoring in closing costs, saving you money on, the title insurance policies. So there's a little bit of math that's going to have us go over 120, but we can't be over budget thousands of dollars that's not good practice for us. That's not fiduciary practice, especially someone like him. He would have to respect them. They're not pulling numbers out of their ass. If you give me 95,000 and we can't install a seawall, this is a bad investment. It's very black and white. There's very little feeling, especially with someone that's very direct and very short and cut and dry. You want to make it very plain and dry. And then if it becomes an issue, just say, hey, no problem. We can definitely touch base at a later time. If the opportunity presents itself, if you're able to get a higher offer than that, why wouldn't you take it, right? But you've probably been getting around the same number because they're either factoring in the seawall or they may not even know they need a seawall. But I mean, it sounds like we've been pretty close, and the general consensus seems to say that 80,000 is where we need to be at.
Okay.
Now, if we were in a situation in a parallel universe where you did have a seawall in it and you were asking 95,000, you would have all the leverage and all the power because our budget would be 120. So you let me know what makes sense. And if we could put something in writing and move forward, we're good to go. If not, just follow up at a later time, move on to the next deal. Okay. Franklin, what's going on?
Thank you,
Yeah,
Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, thank you, man. I was just gonna ask, because in your conversation you mentioned the part about providing proof of fund. So I thought
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty cool. You said to him, have any of the people who contact you send you an proof of fund. So how would that, like, do you have proof of fund? Do you have something you can send them that will show that you have proof of funds?
Yep.
Why do you say that?
Let me go ahead and give you this website so that way you can get proof of funds. And the reason I say that is because going off of his point, sorry. The reason I say that is because when people mention, oh yeah, I've gotten other offers for X amount and this and stuff like that, I'm not trying to necessarily discredit the other people, but I want to shift the focus and bring the seller's attention to anyone can offer you anything. What can they execute on is the difference. How else would you know? How do you know they even have the $80,000 for that offer to even be valid, Mr. Seller?
Okay.
When we make offers, we like to put it in writing because the golden rule of real estate, if it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. And second, you want confidence that the person you're doing business with can fulfill their obligations. Yes or no? And then you just be quiet. You just tell them, like, do you want? I mean, we don't have the opportunity or the luxury to meet in person, but I would assume you will want some type of assurance that this person has the financial capacity, the bandwidth, and the capabilities to actually fulfill what it is that we're agreeing upon. And then you want to basically confirm their own thought process from the standpoint of, like, wouldn't that be something that you would want to confirm someone doing business that you're doing business with, Mr. Seller? That's not something they can say no to. No seller's going to be like, no, I don't want to deal with someone that's going to perform, do what they say they're going to do, and also confirm that they're just not tire kickers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And then the link you sent, what is this link? It just shows you can just put sign up or give you a proof of funds. So what is this?
Yep, you can go on their website. You can ask for a proof of funds. You have to go over to transactional funding, or you can just reach out to them and just say, like, hey, proof of funds or whatever the case may be. And under resources, if you go to proof of funds request, they have a ability to do the proof of funds.
Well,
And then you just fill out.
You don't have to do business yet with them. They can just send it to you straight up.
Yeah, they can just send it to you.
Okay. Wow.
Yep. They're actually a mortgage company, so they do like transactional funding. They do rehab loans, do construction loans. So they're like a legitimate, mortgage company. They just so happen to provide proof of funds for wholesalers.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just do one as a practice and put an address or whatever, right? And
Correct.
okay, I will do that.
Mm-hmm.
See how it looks.
For those of you guys in Derby's group, just so you guys know that I'm like super serious and adamant about these Tuesday calls. These type of calls that we just experienced, whether like this call just so happened to be very, very good. Obviously, you guys can learn a lot from it. But this is a prime example of why I want you guys to kind of bring these type of calls, because this can not only be beneficial for you guys, it could be a learning experience for other people so they can get confidence getting on the phone as well too. And in the event that this does materialize to a contract, Stephanie and Gene are going to be the beneficiaries, because Stephanie's done the work to, at least have some type of introduction with the seller. Gene has done the work to get, a good understanding of the buyer criteria or whatever the case may be. And then now, boom, if this materializes, a 10K spread for both of them to split. And I not only want that for Stephanie and Gene, I want that for each and every one of you guys. So if you guys are in Derby's group, if you can go into the 2.0 chat, okay? Please tell everybody that if they missed this call today, please bring more sellers for Francisco to call on next week's call, because these energy drinks, it's endless. Okay. But like my saying, and matter of fact, if you're in Derby's group, just put, if they got cash for grass, Francisco's on their ass. Okay. So just bring your sellers to the call. I'll call them in front of you. You guys can get the call. You can learn from me. If somebody cuss me out, we can all laugh together. Okay. My feelings ain't gonna be hurt if someone cuss me out on the phone. But the whole goal is for you guys to get the confidence of understanding how to. I didn't read off of a script. I'm not some genius that learned how to talk to. I didn't say any magic words. I just had a conversation. You know what I mean? So my whole goal for us doing these calls is to have not only practical implementation, but you guys getting confidence of like, if Francisco can do it. Jess was like, "What you drinking? I need that." Yes, Oxy Shred. Because I am finna go work out after this. But yes, please bring your sellers on this call, guys. Like, I want to make sure that, like, if anything materializes, I don't, and I'm saying this from a humble heart, I want you guys to be the beneficiaries of what we do in these sessions. You know what I mean? So this is fulfillment work for me. So as long as you guys bring something that I can help you guys with, advance, make progress, please put it in the chat so everyone can know, bring their ass on these calls so we can be on these sellers' ass. And last thing also, another thing that I'm going to start implementing that I learned from another mastermind that I was in, where these guys are young too. I'm 29. These guys, I was like, damn, I didn't even think about this. What they do is they take turns tag teaming sellers. So one of the things that they do, we're probably going to start doing this on Tuesday call, right? So Stephanie, if this guy gives us a hard time, somebody in this group or two people are going to call this same exact lead and have obviously the same flow of conversation, but you're going to take it from we're going to put these sellers in rotation.
Yeah.
You follow me? And then when these other guys told me that they were doing this, I'm like, this is so simple and common sense. It's like, damn, why I didn't think of that long time ago? And the way they do it is so strategic. They literally like play off each other because the seller don't know who from who. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the way they do it is, if Stephanie calls a seller and then I call her next, they literally be like, you know how like the seller just said, "Oh, I got other offers from other people." Mr. Seller, if you don't mind me asking, I'm pretty familiar with all of my competition in the area. Do you happen to know any one of those names or any one of the people's names that gave you an offer? Let him say Stephanie. Oh my gosh. I'm finna put my Denzel voice on. Stephanie? Her company name is Celicia Ventures? Oh my gosh. She beats me to every person that gets referred to us. She either beats us out on price, she beats us out on speed. We're only able to offer you 70,000 and we take 45 days to close. I wish we could beat her out, but I don't know. 2 months later, ring, 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 Stephanie, you know what? I've been getting offers for less than what you've been offering. I think I'm ready to sell now.
Wow. Mike, you're on.
Hey, Francisco,
Yes, ma'am.
this is Carla. Hey, I did that on that duplex. It never did come through, but I had the guy that I was JVing with. He called and I had a different price. He had a different price. That's what we were doing. That's amazing. I see it works.
There you go. And then, and honestly, if you have like a spirit of collaboration, it makes it more easier because again, sometimes these people actually want to sell, and it's in their human nature to try to get the highest price possible. That's never going to be a thing that we do not deal with as middleman wholesalers, whatever the case may be. If we were selling something, I'm trying to squeeze as much juice out of this as possible, so I understand and relate, right? And in this particular seller's case, again, he's very, very realistic on price. You know what I mean? And then another angle that you can attack it, especially because he brought up real estate agents, just say, hey, did you do the math on what you're going to net if you do decide to go with the real estate agent? because I'm pretty sure the agents that want to list the property for you, they got to be charging anywhere between 6 and 7% because they got to make a living too. We got our offers. We're not offering any commission. We're not taking it. This is what you're going to net. So again, guys, every Tuesday, this is kind of the call. I feel like this call. Let me know if you guys have some value on this call. But I want to have multiple weeks like this as well too. So the more engaged that we can all be, the more like again something that you guys can again be the primary beneficiaries of. Because then you guys might have the confidence to be like, you know what, Francisco, get on the sideline. Stephanie gonna do the calls and call people selling leads, or Mike or Gene or whatever the case may be, right? And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is do not underestimate the strength of other people in the same room as you guys. Prime example, Stephanie was clearly seller focused, and then you got Gene, you got Mike that have buyers already. Super easy connection to make just by simply understanding and knowing who's good at what, who's focusing on their strength and actually producing results that I can connect with and bounce ideas off of, right? So even without my involvement, Stephanie, you can literally get with Mike, get with Gene, put the seller on rotation because y'all both going to benefit from connecting the jobs. Franklin, go ahead.
Hey, this is Frank Minton. I was wondering on the land pod that we did a few months ago. You and Derby mentioned a couple of books about negotiations. What were those? What were those books?
Derby is big on the negotiation Bible. I reference spin selling. It's called SPIN, spin selling. SPIN.
Spin selling. Do you know who those are by?
The Negotiation Bible is by Chris Hastings.
Haskins?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Spin selling is by Neil. I don't even know how to pronounce this dude's name. Neil Rackham.
How you spell that?
Let me see. Hold on. Spin selling. Oh, wow. I guessed it without even seeing it. Damn, my memory's crazy. Neil Rackham, Rackham.
HAM. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, man.
No problem. And then real quick on spin selling, how would I put this? This is just how my mind, I always like to educate people on how I process information. I'm a very big fan of, and spin selling solidifies this and it goes into great detail. I'm a big fan of frameworks, right? And frameworks allow you to memorize points in conversation where you can lead it to your desired result, or memorizing points in conversation where you'd be like, you can know immediately, this isn't a conversation that I need to continue to resume. Does that make sense? And spin selling is actually founded on Neil. He did a case study of over 35,000 sales calls. And after doing the case study of 35,000 sales calls, he took all of the common denominators and he came up with spin selling: situation, problem, implication, and need payoff. And that's the framework that he uses. I never really been a big fan of script, so that's why I kind of like spin selling. Never Split the Difference. Tish put it in a chat. That is a book, if I'm not mistaken, by a former FBI hostage negotiator.
Yes, Chris Voss.
Yes. So when you guys are reading these books, the reason I say all of that is you want to just kind of ascertain how these people are processing how to execute sales conversations. Does that make sense? Another good resource. I'm pretty sure there's books on this, but another good resource that I will look into, highly recommend, is NLP. N as in Nancy, L as in Larry, P as in Paul. It stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. And the reason I want you guys to look it up is because when I found out about NLP, literally, once I understood what it was, and hopefully this happens for you guys too, you'll start realizing all the times it was used on you and be like, damn, they got my ass. And then now you're aware of it. And then you can use it to obviously, benefit you. And yeah, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Just type in NLP and then there's going to be like tons of videos about it. I'm pretty sure the person that I learned it from was a real estate agent. Kevin, I don't even know his last name. Probably going to butcher that too. But he's he's a bald, older white guy. He was in sales for a very long time. And when I first got into real estate, that was one of the rabbit holes I went into. And yeah, that's also going to be something that helps you improve your conversation skills overall. And then you'll have an aha moment like, damn, they got my ass. They used it on me and it worked. But yeah, guys. So yeah, we'll go ahead and be back next week, same time, same place. We'll go ahead and check the schedule real quick.
Hey, do you mind if I ask one more question?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
Francisco, I will mark him on the seller status as underwriting, right?
Keep him in underwriting for right now.
Okay.
And then it's gonna create a list like we talked about, but let's just make sure that we don't lose track of him.
Okay, thank you.
What feels good
No
in
problem.
here?
Franklin, go ahead. My bad. I think you have one more question.
Breathe.
Yeah, no problem. It's just I'm also in Lehigh. I'm trying to close my first deal, and I've been very, very close. I talked to this older lady, and she agreed on the price of the seller. I mean, of my buyer, but when I sent her the contract, she kind of got scared about all the blank, the far bar. So I've been thinking about just sending her a one-page agreement, honestly, with a very simple one. I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know you guys don't use like the one page, but I think for this case and probably other cases, I think I should use, especially when they're like a little scared about that. I should probably just use the one-page agreement.
No, I think it's just a matter of just explaining kind of like, because you have to align your agreement with what your buyer is going to be able to accept. Does that make sense? So if they are a little bit intimidated about kind of like the length of contracts, I would just simply explain to them like, hey, Mr. Seller, I definitely understand the hesitation. If it's okay, I can walk you through it line by line, paragraph by paragraph, just so you have a clear expectation of what's going on. Furthermore, if you want to, run it by an attorney or get a second opinion, you're more than welcome to do so. And then just get back to me with any feedback or any changes that you feel might be necessary, and then we can have a conversation about it. But you want to just communicate to them that, hey, if your buyer is, one of those buyers, like Adams Homes, for example, right? So if you guys work with Adams Homes, they have a specific contract that they will not accept if it's not in their specific way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I already did what you said. I already walked her through. I talked to her on the phone, and I even told her, please take the contract so the lawyer can review it, make sure everything's legit if you have any questions. But she's still, she's still just scared about the other blank, on the different clauses that are there, the blank. She's scared about those. Oh, you guys, I don't know, you guys can fill that out. And I'm like, well, I can't really do that because when I send you the contract and everything, it is locked in right after you sign and everything. Everything is audit. So yeah, I was just wondering if you guys ever, because all the buyers always want that one, the far bar, or is it possible there's a mom and pop that don't care about that?
Yeah, there are mom and pops that don't care about that. And if you want, I think if you can get a hold of her, Franklin, and schedule a time for next Tuesday, I would love to talk to that seller, because that would be great practice.
Well, you speak Spanish?
You say what?
You speak Spanish?
Yo puedo hablar un poquito de español. Sí, por supuesto, yo puedo hablar español.
Francisco,
Let's go.
Oh my God!
This man got different languages.
Don't
You
play
got it
with
Well,
all,
me,
bro.
well,
Yeah.
I just realized that her voicemail was in Spanish, and I speak Spanish too. So
man.
me and
Okay.
her just got it going in Spanish. So I tried to contact her again. Now I'm just trying to see if I can get her back.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, you probably speak better Spanish than me because I speak Spanglish. But yes, I can hold a whole conversation in Spanish, and I can understand exactly what they're saying.
Yeah,
Um,
I would love to come to all those meetings. It's just I have work. Today was a day that I couldn't, but I would definitely love. Unfortunately, it's so hard for me to make it during this time, but I appreciate any nuggets or anything, you know.
no problem. Yep. Just try to coordinate with her, or just message me on Mighty Networks, and we'll try to get it done.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I
Hmm.
have a question. Is she an actual motivated seller? Because even though she's worried about the contract, is there something deeper that she just isn't saying and she's using the contract as a nice way to basically say I'm not interested? Is she really, really motivated or
Yeah, it sounded like when I sent her the contract and everything, yeah, I would like to. I even asked her why, and basically she's not gonna. She moved to a different area and she was planning to use it, but she's really not gonna use it. So everything checked in good. It's just every time I talk to her, she's scared about the blanks. And I understand that because if I would send that to my mom, this is what I would said to her. If I send that to my mom, I think that would scare her too, because she don't know all the jargon and things like that. You know, it takes a little bit more of a having, I don't know, not being scared about that and being more updated with the things nowadays. And she's very old school.
Gotcha. I would say if she has that sentiment, I would definitely be that would be someone that you want to focus more on. It may take a couple conversations in order to feel comfortable, right? What do you know what type of what her ethnicity is? Like if she's
I think
Cuban,
she's in
Colombian.
Puerto Rico, I think, I grew up there too.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah,
Franklin, that's
I've
you
been, I've been
talk
talking
to
to
her.
her.
Franklin, talk to her on your calendar. Talk to her every Friday about anything other than land. Talk to her about Bad Bunny for 2 weeks. Don't talk about nothing about land. Just
Yeah, yeah.
build a
Okay.
relationship with her.
Okay,
And I,
I'm gonna try to reach out to her because I haven't in a few days, and I was trying to I was breaking my brain. How can I? I mean, I have to just come up with a simpler contract for her.
oh yeah. But
Mhm.
what I would do is she's going to feel comfortable because think about this, and this is the last thing because I do have to get ready to head out. Franklin, in your situation, this goes for everyone, but it's Franklin, this is for you specifically. You have to identify areas of opportunity that no one else can take advantage of other than you. I don't know how many other Puerto Ricans we have on this call, but you guys have something, you have common ground already with her. If
I
someone
see.
else is Puerto Rican, they may not be able to speak a lick of Spanish. That's another competitive advantage that you have. So it may take you multiple times to kind of get her to warm up and things of that nature, but you have something that other people a common language. 90% of people won't even be able to communicate with her. Already, you have a leg up, right? The last thing is because she's a type of person that may be skeptical. The way this will materialize is you spending time with her, building rapport. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then after she feels comfortable and be like, man, Franklin, I can talk to Franklin for hours. Every time we talking, we just chatting it up, whatever. An hour tops a week. And I promise you within a couple of weeks, she'll come around and be like, okay, break it down to me, yada, yada, yada. But that's a competitive advantage that most people won't be able to compete with you in because one, you're fluent in Spanish, right?
Sí, señor.
Oh, okay, seriously. And the fact that you guys are both Puerto Rican, Puerto Rican people, they have a specific dot. Like I'm part Honduran, right? So Hondurans speak Spanish differently than Puerto Ricans speak Spanish. So
Yeah.
that's you guys can, and you know like from, I'm pretty sure with your ear, you could tell like, oh, you got to be from Puerto Rico based on how they speak Spanish. It's
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
thing with English, where people from New York can tell, oh, you definitely from New York. You definitely from. So it's the same thing in Spanish. So I will lean more into that, and then just take your time building that rapport with her, because if she really wants to sell, not understanding or having multiple page contracts shouldn't be something that stops her from moving forward. What she's really communicating is, I don't know you well enough to trust that you'll be able to guide me through a 7-8 page contract. And think about it from her perspective. This multiple page contract is in a language that she probably doesn't even know how to read.
Hmm.
So if she doesn't know how to read English, it has to be somewhat intimidating for her to process, what am I actually signing, and how do I make sure that I'm not getting, you know what I mean? And matter of fact, take it a step further, try to copy it, ask ChatGPT to translate the whole document in Spanish and send it to her.
Oh, just so she know, but that's not gonna work in with the. That's just for her reference, so she understand
Just
what.
a reference. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All
And then
right.
just take the time to build rapport with her, and then you'll be able to. I know for a fact. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write this down to make sure I follow up next Tuesday. If you come to this call, don't buck me. Don't run from me now. Now that I'm writing this down, don't
Oh
run.
no, I'm
I'm gonna
not.
be looking for you on these calls on Tuesday,
Yo,
Frank.
Francisco, it'll be hard for me to make it next week. This is like one in a chance opportunity that I have because of work. That
Mm-hmm.
today we got off work earlier, so I really want to be here with you, honestly, but it would be so hard for me. Just be
You
straight up and transparent about that.
you good, man. But next time you come on these calls, I wrote it down. So next time I see you, even if it's 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, I'm gonna ask you about this Puerto Rican seller. So
I was so close to close my first deal.
yes, bro. So we're definitely gonna materialize your first deal whenever you can. I definitely understand everybody got, obligations, jobs, kids, whatever. So schedules don't always align on Tuesdays. But yeah, this goes for anybody. Please bring your sellers to these calls so we can materialize, whether it's your first deal, your third deal, your fourth, your fifth, whatever the case may be. The whole purpose of why I want to start being more engaging on these calls is for you guys to materialize whatever number deal you're on. You know what I mean? And that's only going to happen from practical application.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Dexter, last question, and then we got to wrap up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep you, man. I appreciate this call. I kind of just hopped in late, but is this gonna be in the replay section in the 2.0 group?
So this is done on Nick's Zoom, and the recordings, he puts it in his community chat. But what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start asking his assistant to just send me the recordings, and then I'll have Rena or Derby's team posted in our group.
Got it. Okay. Too easy. And last question, do you mind if I get with you offline, man? What's the best form of communication? I got a deal, or I'm working on something. I want to kind of run it by you and see what you think.
Just shoot me a text. You got my number in the group chat, so just shoot me a text, and then we can chat.
Yeah. All right, that's a bit. I hit you up. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you guys so much for coming on this call, and I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place.
Francisco. Thank you.
you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.